Didal, MMA Connect TV, and I'm here outside the wonderful East Coast Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Monkstown in Dunleary with purple belt, Mr. Richard Bukovcsan. What's up?
What's up, Lydia? Thanks for having me today.
No problem. It's nice out. We said we'd do our interview outside so that we're not
Yeah,
stuck.
it's super sick weather we're having nowadays in Dublin.
It's good. So this episode of MMA Connect TV is featuring Richie because we wanted to get Richie on the show to talk about his recovery from a fully blown ACL tear.
Yeah.
That happened
January 26th. Yeah. Today is actually exactly 4 months post-op. I had the operation March 23rd. Yeah. And today is 4 months post-op.
So I wanted to get Richie on because anyone that is a fan of Irish Jiu-Jitsu, Irish martial arts will know Richie from his competition background. He's one of our most decorated Jiu-Jitsu players. I don't think anyone will disagree with that, no matter even if they're not in this team. So I wanted to get him on because obviously when he was injured it was a huge deal. You were a purple belt at the time. A blue belt at the time, and was on kind of like a winning streak, was doing really well, winning all around him. So I think it was a really big time for us in the academy because we all kind of felt your pain, really. You know, that it was very disappointing for everyone. You were promoted to purple belts by Dara O'Connell, your black belts instructor, head coach here. What was that like? Because obviously you're on a winning streak, you're a blue belt, and then you get this devastating news that you're going to need surgery, and then you get promoted. What was the feelings?
When I got injured, it was 3 days right when I came back from the Europeans.
Yeah.
You know, so I just finished the Europeans. I was like super stoked to get home. I had so many tournaments lined up to do. I had so many tournaments booked, like Rome Open, the London Grand Slam, Nogi Europeans, British Nationals as well, I'm pretty sure. And I was just feeling on top of the world. You know, like you said, I was on a streak, just doing so many tournaments. And then it happened, and as soon as I heard my knee pop, it just felt like all those thoughts rushed into my head. And I was just like, oh my god, what just happened, you know? I popped my knee a few times before, and it was just like a little pop and then give it like 2 weeks of rest and then you're fine. And then I was just hoping that it's the same thing this time. But then, and I thought it was going to be the same thing because I was walking properly and all this right after I blew it. And then I got the MRI results and the physio was like, yeah, your ACL is fully torn. And as soon as I heard that news, my world just collapsed on top of me. I went from smiling to just being straight like, oh my god. I remember going home and I probably just cried for like 2 hours. I just couldn't believe what was happening because I heard people saying that they tore the ACL, and I know how long it takes, and I just couldn't process it in my mind being away from training for that long. I never took more than, I don't know, 2 weeks of training, and I would only take 2 weeks of training if I'm going on a holiday or a jiu-jitsu trip to do a tournament. And after 5 years of training, somebody just comes up and tells you, okay, you're not allowed to train for almost a year, you're not allowed to compete for a year. It's just like mind-blowing to me. And then in terms of the promotion to purple belt, this year I was gonna do the Worlds a blue belt. And then I don't know what was gonna happen after the Worlds. I don't know if I would get promoted or not. I didn't talk to Dara about that. I don't know what was going on in his head. But I would have never even thought that I would get promoted to purple belt. I was thinking, in my head, okay, I'm gonna do the Euros in 2018 as a blue belt. You know, just do it one last time. I would have never thought that Dara would give me the purple, and I never really wanted it. You know, I've always been like so focused with the blue belt to just like win the Worlds, win the Europeans. But then as soon as he gave it to me, it's like my mind just switched out of nowhere. I was like, okay, this is it. Now I'm so much more motivated. If you would have asked me before, would you be more motivated if you got your purple, I would probably say no, because I was just so I had such a tunnel vision just to compete a blue and win something huge, a blue belt. And then he gave me the purple belt and my mind just instantly switched. I was like, okay, I don't want to fight blue belts anymore. You know, I believe I can do it with purple belts, and I want to be out there at the top level with the purple belts.
And I think for your teammates as well, it was a deserved promotion, because you were at that level where, you know, you were exceeding nearly all the blue belts in the division, you know what I mean? So I know that the competition level is quite high at East Coast, so, you know, maybe Dara was holding you back, maybe to, like, you know, so that you can advance in your competition. So when you got it, I don't think anyone was very shocked to hear that. You know, everyone was like, yeah, well, that's totally deserved. And like you said, must have been like an incredible boost for you as well, like in terms of confidence.
Yeah.
You've Since you've been injured, you haven't left the gym. You've still been here. You're still every day. You're coaching. You're drilling what you can. You're like just being a teammate to people that are down here. Is that something that you consciously kind of wanted to adapt, or is it just your life and you're just used to it? Or did you sit back and just say, well, I'm not gonna just sit at home and I'm not gonna like stay away from the gym. I'm gonna keep as involved as I can.
Yeah. Nowadays, the way I look at it is I want this year to end as fast as possible,
Yeah.
just so I can compete at the Europeans and just be able to compete next year. So I think about it. If I'm gonna stay home and do nothing, that means the day is gonna drag on for longer.
Yeah.
If I come here and like help around, help teach, drill, go to CSP, lift weights, then talk to you, do this interview, then the day will go on faster, meaning that I'll get to go to bed sooner and wake up the next day and do the same thing. So next thing you know, the months are just stacking up the way it happened today, like it's 4 months post-op. If I look back in time, it doesn't seem that long, you know, the days are flying in when you're keeping busy,
Yeah.
so that's what I try to do.
How do you keep your mind focused? How do you keep motivated to keep going? It's something that I find very interesting, because obviously this week is my first week being back after breaking my ankle. And I was out for 4 months, so we had surgery at the same time. And we spoke about before that I found the mental aspect of keeping focused, like getting up and having a kind of, I suppose, zest for life, you know, as corny as it sounds, but I found that very hard, because I was like, at the end of my day, no matter what I'd done, I always had jiu-jitsu to look forward to. Whether I was working, whether I was like had the day off, it always ended with training. You know what I mean? I found that very hard to deal with when it was gone. So how do you keep your mind on the game, I suppose, or focused?
For me, I believe that's pretty straightforward. You don't have to think about it too much. I'm just like super motivated with tournaments. You know, of course, I just got my pro belt as well. I have the Europeans. For me, it's not an issue of staying motivated. When you love jiu-jitsu as much as I do, that's all you need. You know, that's all the motivation that you need. You want to be at the top spot in tournaments, so you do whatever you can. And because of that, I don't ever feel like, oh, I don't want to do this today. I don't feel like I'm motivated. You know, for me, it's just like this is what I do. This is my lifestyle. I never wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I don't wanna go lift weights. I don't wanna drill. I don't wanna go teach. Like, this is just something you do. It's just like drinking water, you know. You don't wake up and you're like, oh, I don't want to drink water. It's normal.
Yeah.
You do it. So I believe it's the same for me when it comes to training, drilling, teaching, lifting weights. It's just something I do, and also having all these goals in my head. You know, I'm 19. I'm gonna be turning 20 at the end of this month. I'm so young and I have so many goals in this sport. So just that alone motivates me so much to just wake up, push through, and just do the best as I can. You know, wake up with determination and go to sleep satisfied.
How did you get so good at nailing competition? Because you have gone up against the best in the world and won and lost, but your competition mindset has never faltered through wins, through losses, through injury as well. So what do you put that down to? For someone, like you said, for your age, that's 19, you know, you've got sponsorship with Kings Europe, one of the biggest like names in jiu-jitsu, fight brands in jiu-jitsu, and you know, you like compete at the highest level. What do you like, for somebody who's 19 or somebody who maybe is a lot older and looking at you, they might say, God, that's like, he's like an alien, you know what I mean? Like, how does he like manage to like have that mindset and to like, you know, to live your life the way that you do?
I believe that having a good team, a good coach, and good teammates that can push you through. I believe it's like a ladder. Like, you know, people who are less experienced than me look up to me,
Yeah.
and then I look up to people like Sam and Marcus, and then Sam and Marcus look up to people like Dara, and I'm sure Dara looks to people that are way more experienced than him.
So that's Sam McNally and Marcus Phelan.
Yeah, Sam McNally, Marcus Phelan, those. Yeah, so like looking up at them just gives you a boost of like, okay, I want to be like them, you know. And then in terms of competition, you just have to, I believe you just need to have a tunnel vision. Your day, it's like your day won't come when you want it to come, you know.
Yeah.
You just have to keep pushing, win or lose, you just keep pushing, and eventually your day will come. You know, so many people fall short because they try once, they try 2 times, they try 3 times, they try 4 times, and they lose, and then they quit. But what separates the losers from the winners is just like keep pushing through. You know, you might lose 10 times every single round, first round, but you gotta keep pushing through, and eventually it's inevitable that you're going to win.
Yeah.
You know, so that's exactly the mentality you need to have. Yes, you're gonna be winning so many tournaments, and then when you win, you gotta be like, okay, let's push it up at a higher step. You win there, okay, higher step, and then you keep going, and eventually you're gonna lose. You know what I mean? If you keep pushing, if you keep reaching for really, really high goals, eventually you're gonna lose, and it's gonna be heartbreaking. But that's what separates you from others. You just gotta keep going, keep pushing. Come back training, train harder, train smarter, think about it more. Go home at night, brainstorm it. You know, so many times I go sleep at night and I can't even sleep because I'm thinking, oh, that time I lost to this guy. I feel like I remember the losses more than I remember my wins, you know.
Yeah.
My wins, I win, and then like, okay, I won, let's do the next one. I went down, okay, let's do the next one. And then you lose and you're like, what happened, you know? So then in your head, you're just brainstorming for so many months, even a year. Sometimes you get flashbacks to that one time you made a mistake and you just lost everything. So yeah, honestly, you just have to keep pushing through, keep training hard. You know, don't let like a little defeat, don't let a little loss like take you out of tournaments
Yeah.
for a long time. I believe so many people do that. They fall short just because they lose on the big stage after, especially if you're on a winning streak and then you lose out of nowhere. Then yeah, and also if you keep losing and you're like, oh my god, I'm never winning, you just have to keep pushing through, and eventually your day is gonna come.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Do you think about the future at all in terms of your jiu-jitsu? I know, like, obviously you're injured at the moment, and the immediate future is getting your recovery together and getting back on the mats and get back competing. But do you think about long term? Do you think about, you know, like being a black belt world champion? Do you think about being a coach, having your own academy? Like, what do you feel yet like you know what you were kind of put here to do? Is it jiu-jitsu? Is it competition? Is it coaching?
Black belt world champion, I think about that every day. Yes, so definitely this is what I want to do, you know. Ever since I started, ever since I got into it, ever since I did my first tournament, I was like, okay, this is it. You know, I know
Yeah.
I'm still so far away, but I believe I'm on a good path with the team I'm with, and the teammates I have, and the coach I have. You know, Dara is a huge mentor for me. I look up to him every single day. If I have a question, I just ask him. Sometimes I'm just like, here, Dara, I need to talk to you about not even like jiu-jitsu, just
Yeah.
like I need to talk to you about like my future. I actually did that with him just like a few weeks ago. It was like, look man, I really want to talk to you about my future, what I'm doing, all this. And then we had a long chat about it. So yeah, definitely my main goal is black belt world champion and have my own academy one day.
Amazing. Do you have a timeline?
Do I have a timeline?
Yeah.
Honestly not. You know, I don't like to think about it that way. I just like to think about it like just enjoy the journey.
Eventually.
And eventually if you keep putting in the time, it will happen, you know. Obviously I will try to do my best to make that happen as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But like I'm not like, okay, by 2000 and whatever I need to have this. You know, I just like to enjoy myself. I really like jiu-jitsu, just enjoy myself. And if you do what you like, eventually you're gonna get there and everything's
Exactly.
gonna work.
Exactly. So before I let you go, talk to me about, because obviously there will be some people that will watch this that will have had the same injury
Yeah.
as you or similar injuries to you, and I know we've spoken before about the when it happened, actually looking online to try and find something that you could find kind of like relates to what had happened to you, and you couldn't find anything. So like you're googling like jiu-jitsu player tears ACL, and you
Yeah.
can't find anything, and you can't find a proper way to or something to read about your recovery to where someone's been through the same experience. Online it just seems to be a load of people that are just like way too dramatic, you'll never walk again, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how did you find that in terms of like finding the right kind of recovery for you and like the steps to take, I suppose?
I had a few people get on to me because that's true. You can't really find there's not many people talking about their ACL tears,
Yeah.
especially if they do jiu-jitsu. Like jiu-jitsu players, I googled so many different pages and I couldn't find any person to be like, okay, I tore my ACL and this is exactly what happened. And if you do find it, it's usually just like a hobbyist guy who has
Yeah.
a family, whatever, just does jiu-jitsu like twice a week, just does that as a hobby. So then obviously his recovery is going to be different because he's not as focused as it should be, you know. And in terms of like how I find it with my recovery, I just like taught myself everything. You know, of course I have my physio and my
What's the physio that you go to?
Donald Fox in Sportsmed Ireland. He's really good. Um, yeah, in terms of that, I just listen to Donald, my physio, and just try to feel everything out. You know, try to push it as much as I can without doing something stupid and tearing it. You know, it obviously comes down to like my age. I'm really young, so I have that on my side. It comes down to, are you taking all the supplements that you should take? And being consistent with them is like,
Yeah.
okay, I just bought fish oils, I'm just gonna take fish oils, and then you take some fish oils for a week, and you're like, okay, I don't want to take them anymore because I'm lazy or whatever. You know, you just gotta keep on track with everything. What supplements you take, what food you eat, how consistent are you with your rehab? You know, so many people just do, and then they take a week off, and they do it, and they take 2 weeks off. Man, you just gotta nail that down every single day. If your ultimate goal is to get back competing, then you're going to be doing everything you can to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to get in 4 days a week of lifting. So I would usually do like Monday to Thursday, and then by Thursday, today is Wednesday, I woke up this morning, I was like, oh my god, my legs are in bits, I had to roll out of bed. But I'd still be, today's Wednesday?
Thursday.
Today's Thursday. Today's Thursday,
Today's
right?
Thursday, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So today's Thursday. I'm gonna be lifting weights probably after this interview. It's gonna be my last day, so I'll try to keep grinding through it. But that's what it is, you know. You're gonna get to Thursday and you won't want to do it, and you roll out of bed. But that's when you have to nail it. And then I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday rest. And even though I'm resting, by rest I mean I'm not lifting weights, you know. But I'll still be here drilling and doing mobility work and stretching it out. And then I'll be here. I'll be at East Coast Friday and Saturday, maybe teaching and drilling and all this. So I'll keep working on mobility, and then Sunday, which is like my day off. Even though it's my day off, I'll still be doing something. I'll still be like looking at it and try to move it in different ways and try to tweak it. So it's like an obsession to me nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up and I'm like, how can I make my knee better today? And then when I go to bed at night, I ask myself, did I do anything to make my knee better? And the answer is always yes. So you just have to keep like such a tunnel vision. Yes, it's shit. So many exercises are so boring and long, and they mess up your body. But you just gotta keep working through it and just believe that it's gonna happen. And right now, 4 months post-op, I really feel like I did a good job so far. You know, my knee is very stable. It feels super strong. I feel like I'm a different athlete, and I'm not even 100% recovering. You know, I believe I'm only like around halfway. And I already feel like I'm so much stronger just because I put in so much time and work.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, on a final note, before I let you go, what would you say to somebody that watches this that doesn't train martial arts, doesn't train jiu-jitsu, but has the little thing in their head that starting to see it, like the name jiu-jitsu crop up now, because obviously Conor McGregor, the UFC, MMA, what would you say to them?
If they want to start jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, what have you learned? Like, what have you learned over the last 5-6 years? You know, how has it helped you? How has it changed you? Got you to this point?
Over the last 5 years, it's been a crazy road. You know, if you want to start jiu-jitsu, I'd say go for it straight away. I know so many people don't want to start because they feel like a little scared. They feel scared and they're unconfident, like, oh, I'm gonna go in this gym and I'm brand new and maybe I'm overweight and everyone's gonna be looking at me. But like, you just have to do it, you know, just take that leap. Just do it. Like, now I look back so many times, I ask myself, where would I be right now if I would have never went to training? You know, what would I be doing right now? And it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me to think how my life would be without jiu-jitsu, you know. So like, no matter what age you are, just do it. You know, think about it this way, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. You know, there's nothing else besides benefits when it comes to jiu-jitsu. You know, you're gonna make friends, you're gonna make friends, your fitness will be better, you're probably gonna get in shape, and then your confidence overall is just gonna be so much, your confidence is gonna be way boosted no matter what you do in your daily life. You know, it's just so good. You should just do it. Just try it.
Agreed. I definitely agree with you. Before I let you go, sponsors, Kings Europe.
Kings Europe. I actually just re-signed the contract for my second year with Kings yesterday.
Well done, man. That's
I'm with them for another year. Really, really grateful to you guys, Kings
another
Europe.
year of freebies.
Another year of amazing stuff and tournaments. I'm really grateful to them because they supported me even through this year when I'm not able to compete. You know, they still just like message me, oh, how's your knee? Or when they send me something, they write a little card for me like, oh, I hope your knee is better. So they're really supportive. You know, I'm really lucky to have such a brand with me and such great people supporting me over at Kings Europe. And yeah, I'm really happy to represent them, and I can't wait to get out there in 2018 and do my thing. It's going to be a good year.
Good stuff. And also, have you seen the lineup for the Battle of the Boyne?
Yes.
The next jiu-jitsu. Who you calling? Who's the winner?
The Battle of the Boyne.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's in
looked too
Drogheda.
much into it. Is it like a whole division?
Yeah.
I've seen a few matchups. It's like a whole division. Ooh, it's gonna be super tough. I know I want to
Lee
see
Hammond, Chris
Lee
Leddy,
Hammond, Chris Leddy,
Sam McNally,
Ryan McCartney.
Keith Kavanagh.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All
Honestly,
all the names.
I know this is gonna sound weird.
Redzer, Paul Redzer, Edmonds.
Yeah, that's gonna be super interesting. I know it will sound weird because I'm from the same team as him, you know, but I'd probably have to give it to Sam McNally. Sam McNally, like
The Wizards.
I think everybody, even from different teams, can pretty much tell that Sam and Chris Leddy, you know, Chris has been doing it for such a long time, probably a longer time than anybody on the card, you know, so he's such an OG, but also Sam is just an absolute young wizard. So pretty much everybody has to agree with me that he is a top competitor.
Sam was the winner of the
division.
sub under 80 as well.
There you
right?
go.
So.
I'm not surprised, and I'm sure a lot of people are not surprised with that either. The guy is just insane. He's right here training right now. You know, the guy is just an absolute animal.
Good. Okay, so we're going to put our money on Sam McNally.
Yeah.
And finally, any thank yous before we go?
Of course.
Shout out, thank you.
Of course, shout out to Kings, main one, Dara in there, you know. Dara's just amazing. My physio, Donald Fox, my surgeon who fixed up my knee, stitched me back together, Mihai Vioranu in, what's the place called? Sports Surgery Clinic in Santry. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, and pretty much thank you for doing this MMA Connect TV interview. And pretty much everybody in my life, you know, so many people just, every time they see me, they just ask me how I'm doing, and they ask me about my knee. Everybody in CSP, Alan Sherry, all the coaches over there making my day better every time I step in there. Yeah, pretty much everybody in my life that supports me.
Good stuff. Well, there you have it. And where can people find you? What's your social media?
I was hoping you were gonna ask me. All right, guys.
I just remembered your Richie got what are they called?
Patches.
Yeah, patches for his gi.
Trying
What
to
is
blow up
social
on
media?
social media, of course.
Blow up.
Follow me on Instagram at RichieBJJ. That'd be absolutely amazing. If you wanna see daily updates, probably just me deadlifting or something
Or can
like
people
that.
get in touch with you if they've got some questions about ACL and
If you got any questions about ACL, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. I pretty much know a lot about it right now, so I could definitely help you with some ideas, some things that you can do better, whatever. Just hit me up, RichieBJ on Instagram.
Good stuff. Richie Bukovcsan from East Coast Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Dunleary. Ow!